far, the wine of the week for them on the flow, I'm going to go with the Misha's Highnote 2021. The Pinot, stunning wine. It's something I'll wax on about because it's so good. And when we're talking about an episode about wine speak and wine wankery, this is me being a bit wine wankery about it. The colour was can't even read my own doctor's script, but the colour was deep ruby, obviously with a lighter edge as it moves towards the rim. And something else, if you hold the wine on an angle like this is how we look at colour, and you can see the edge. And most wines, you'll see that fade out, and if it's older, you'll get a clearer waterline. I was actually talking to one of the staff about it today. It literally is the water that's separating it. So as wines get older, all the particles try to get out and fall out, and it loses colour, and also increases that clarity around that water. So that's how you can tell the age, or the maturity, I should say, of the wine, not necessarily the age, because all wines are different and all wines age at a different rate. So you can see how mature it is and whether it's still got a bit of life in it or not. Anyway, the nose, cherries, dark berries, there was spice, lovely sort of perfume florals. So, flowers, but, ramped up. So it's almost like the essence of the flowers. So this, talking about the wankery, but breaking it down. The spice was just like, almost turning the berries into sort of mulled spice, that warming winter mulled sort of character, but still that fruit there, not cooked fruit, but fresh fruit, but just on the verge. On the palate, it was still quite fresh and lively with, the bright fruit. So that's what I mean. It hadn't gone to that properly cooked fruit, but there was still the savoury herb and spice finish. So that was one thing that really stood out to me, was the wine had a lovely savoury lift, which I look for all the time in really good Pinot, is that savoury lift on the finish to sort of give you something more than just fruit, because, the cheaper Pinots out there, all you could just knock back. There's no complexity, there's no extra something. No, the tannin was present and it was firm, it was sort of moderate, but fine. And what I mean by fine is, trying to break it down, is that it wasn't rough, it wasn't in your face, but it just had that lovely line that was there, ever present. And something's going on with this, so hopefully it's still recording. But and then moderate acidity, so that acidity was in check with the tannin, and just left with a long finish. So, when I talk about long, you sort of measure it in seconds, Basically, for me, if you're still before, if you can leave your wine there for 20 seconds, it's a long finish, Okay, it is flashing at me for some reason, so we'll just keep going. Hopefully this is still recording. The score, 96 out of 100, 19.5 out of 20. Delicious wine, great wine. Go and find it. Not cheap, but well worth it. Lamb, game meats,